I need you to trust me. One last time.
Mission Impossible, the final reckoning trailer is sprinting into our lives, and you know what that means. Tom Cruise is back and probably risking his life to save the world while never moving slower than a brisk jog. And I'm here to break it down.
You've always been on the right side, brother.
But first, like and subscribe so I can keep working for myself and making you these awesome videos. Sounds like a win-win to me. Okay, let's get to it. Well, looks like Ethan is in big trouble. Also, I'm not sure what kind of pension plan the IMF offers, but at this point, Ethan, take it. It just feels like he should be chilling on a beach somewhere, not fighting masked assassins on every type of moving vehicle.
When the need for certainty is absolute and the odds are deemed impossible, the mission falls to him.
Should he choose to accept?
Wow, never heard that one before. I have a thing about this franchise, but we can get into that at the end. Stay tuned. First, let's break down a few of the main characters so we all know what's going on. Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, the man, the myth, the running legend. Once again, Ethan is out to save the world and break a few bones in the process. Probably his own. Expect more death-defying stunts, intense moral dilemmas, and at least one moment he dramatically takes off a mask to reveal he's been there the whole time. Luther Stickle, played by Ving Rhames, is the heart of the team and the tech genius that somehow still has to deal with Ethan's reckless antics. And he probably is the only one that questions, why are they still doing this? Benji Dunn, played by Simon Pegg. He's the comic relief and resident hacker who will 100% panic at some point while he's defusing a bomb. You can always count on him to make a sarcastic comment right before something explodes. Grace, played by Haley Atwell, she's a newcomer to the franchise who supposedly isn't a spy, but she's definitely going to end up doing some spy stuff. She's either going to be confused like this is still new to her, or she's suddenly going to be able to do everything that every IMF agent has always been able to do. Eugene Kittredge, played by Henry Czerny, he's a deep cut from the very first Mission Impossible movie. Kittredge is back and probably up to something shady, so expect a lot of intense conversations in dimly lit rooms. Elsa Faust, played by Rebecca Ferguson. Yeah, I know, she, died. But that's the oldest trick in the Mission Impossible handbook. So don't count her out just yet. She might make a comeback. She's mysterious, deadly, and always walking the fine line between ally and enemy. She'll likely have some of the best action sequences if she comes back, and a look of perpetual frustration when Ethan does something insane. Now we're getting into the bad guys. Gabriel, played by Esai Morales, the new villain who seems to know way too much about Ethan's past. It's kind of hard to tell if he's a former ally, maybe he's a rival from years ago. Maybe it was a ghost mission gone wrong. But one thing is for sure, he's here to make Ethan's life very, very complicated. He's the guy in the trailer giving the most menacing monologues and probably playing chess while setting the world on fire. The Entity. I know this isn't a person, but it's definitely a character, and it's the biggest mystery of them all. Is it an AI? Is it a rogue program? A digital ghost hunting the world's intelligence agency? We all know that it's crazy powerful, invisible, and probably watching Ethan at all times. I mean, it's like Skynet and the NSA had a baby, and now Ethan has to stop it before it rewrites reality. Last, we have Paris, played by Pom Klementieff, the sadist assassin who looks like she could have taken Ethan down in a fight, but when Ethan spared her, she had a life crisis and didn't know which side she was supposed to be on. Okay, you're all caught up? Okay, let's go. We open with something ominous. A box.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
And if you know Mission Impossible, you know that a box means only one thing. Bomb box. No one has ever opened a box in this franchise and been like, hey, I've been looking for this hoodie. It's always bad news inside the box. Cut to the next big clue. sled dogs. Because obviously we're going to the furthest most parts of the world, which means Ethan Hunt is about to do a cool action sequence in the snow. If I had to bet, he's probably gonna jump off an iceberg or something. Also, as an educated guess, he's probably looking for the submarine where the entity's main server is located. This definitely looks like a Mission Impossible submarine AI server room. The entity destroyed the sub at the beginning of the last movie, so as a guess, I'm gonna say that the only place to kill the entity is in this submarine that's under the ice in this extremely cold place. As proof, later on in the trailer, it looks like Ethan isn't able to make his breath hold and Grace has to swim down to help. Not to mention him climbing into this submarine. But what happened to his suit is the big question. It looks like he gets in a fight when he gets to the submarine. Comment below, wrong answers only. Also, imagine going to where AI lives. Would it feel underwhelming, or do you think that it'll have turrets and laser defenses? We see some more running, and hey, as a franchise, they're certainly not running from it. You get it?
This sucks.
We see a flashback to the knife that he left in the first Mission Impossible movie. Back when Ethan would just crush up light bulbs and we thought that that was genius level spy work. It seems Final Reckoning is leaning heavily into Ethan's past, which makes sense considering that we've had 7 movies of betrayals that end in explosions. But with Ethan Hunt, these explosions always become personal. And with the return of old allies or former enemies, and we don't really know what Ethan was doing before the IMF. I mean, Mission Impossible 1 was 28 years ago, and the last movie reached back further than that to before Ethan was even in the IMF.
Everything you are, everything you've done has come to this.
Okay, that was a bit dramatic, but this franchise always is, and I guess an impossible mission inherently is dramatic.
Should he choose to accept?
Ethan has the key that unlocks the entity's server room. Yes, this weird Knights Templar key controls the most high-tech AI ever created. It's funny we mention the past because this movie seems to want to play on the idea that the entity is connected to anything with Wi-Fi. That explains these older planes. I mean, these planes were originally designed in the 1930s, so they're entity-proof. So needless to say, Ethan is going to be kicking it old school for this final fight. And without modern technology, finding the sub isn't going to be easy, but someone has to know, right? And it's probably Gabriel. He and Ethan have history. We don't really know, but someone Ethan loved died.
You're in love?
For a dude that's constantly about to die, he has a lot of time to form very strong and loving relationships.
Every life you tried to save, you gambled millions more.
And Ethan isn't able to sacrifice these people even though that's the job. He takes death very, very, very hard, and it looks like to save the day, he's gonna have to lose Luther. And Luther has been Ethan's rock for almost 30 years.
You've always been on the right side, brother. I have no regrets. Neither should you.
And then guys, we see Ethan telling his team,
I need you to trust me. One last time.
trust him? He's Ethan Hunt. What did they find out to make them suddenly lose faith in their fearless leader? The past is obviously coming back to haunt Ethan in a big way.
And you realize it's over.
We get a brief look from older Mission Impossible movies, possibly teasing a deeper connection to Ethan's first mission. Could it be a villain from way back resurfacing? A former ally or enemy? Maybe Ethan was the bad guy then. Maybe what he stole on his first mission led to the creation of the entity. But we'll have to wait to find out. In the meantime, the stunts look amazing. The dogfight and the fight on the plane sequence look like they might cause heart attacks. In a good way, don't worry. The diving scenes have always been cool, so yeah, I can't wait for this one. And I know I joke about the chase scenes, but they are really cool. He runs a lot, yes. I mean, a lot of running. But he's trying to stop someone else's plan to take over the world, so he's always one step behind. Well, until he's not. So what do we have? A classic IMF mission with the most massive stakes yet. A villain who knows Ethan's past intimately. Nostalgia baiting with old footage, but that's okay. More running, jumping, and things blowing up just like we like. If you're gonna ask me honestly, it looks incredible, sure, but this franchise should probably end before Ethan has to do a stunt in space. Wait, he's supposed to do that? But if this is truly the last ride, let's talk about it. We talk about the Fast franchise jumping the shark or the submarine or whatever, but Mission Impossible has gotten some pretty good air off the same ramp. And I know he's a spy, so it makes more sense than some street racers from Los Angeles, but the original Mission Impossible was way more grounded than these movies. And maybe that's what we're asking for out of movies these days. But what happened to stuff like the intensity of the light bulb scene? I know I keep going back to that, but as an audience member, we felt the desperation and fear in that moment. And the new movies have gotten so big, I mean, I guess it just feels more improbable than impossible these days. But if it's a fun and exciting film, then okay, I accept the mission. Your mission is to like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments. All right, I'll see you next time.
And you realize it's over.
Hey, thanks for watching. Click here for more videos and subscribe to keep up with all the Blake's World updates. I'd appreciate it. All right, I'll see you next time.